Hey everyone, Mark the Movie Man here. Welcome to the Final Cut, and today I've got an interesting one for you. It comes out early October on VOD and later in the year on disc, and it is called Doom: The Untold Story of Roger Corman's Fantastic Four. Now, those of you who are really heavy into comics and comic book films know that before Iron Man and the big MCU universe, Marvel was on shaky ground with the films that they made, and they had licensed out a whole bunch of them, a bunch of their properties at the time when they were struggling, and one of those properties was the Fantastic Four. And so they approached Roger Corman's company to help produce a Fantastic Four film, but it was ill-fated, and we soon get the backstory of why this film was never released from the people who were there. We get interviews from the cast and principal crew of the film. We get Roger Corman does a brief appearance on here, as well as a couple surprises, including one from Lloyd Kaufman and his how he's kind of connected to Roger Corman's Fantastic Four, and that surprised me in here. It's very well directed, and Marty Langford, who wrote and produced, directed this documentary, has the people involved tell the whole story. There's very little narrative from him as far as a voiceover or anything, though we do get a few stills in here for some quotes, namely from Stan Lee, who says this film was never intended to be made. Is that true? Well, we see how this story plays out, and things aren't quite as they seemed on the surface, especially at the time. Also, you get kind of the seeds in here and see where Marvel wanted to go, but a little bit earlier than we expected as far as an MCU goes. So there's a lot of interesting perspective in here, and it not only gives you a window into how this film played out and why it was never released, but it also gives you an understanding of the actual Hollywood machine and how sometimes indie films really get the short end of the stick. Indie film producers do, and you get to see all of that through the eyes of the people who experience this firsthand. So excellent documentary, especially if you're into the MCU, if you're just into superhero films. They're really big now. In the 90s, they were still kind of struggling to get off the ground, many of them, and this gives you kind of a window into that time period of what went on behind the scenes that I think is worth it for all of you fans out there. So check it out if you have. Please leave your comments down below. Love to hear your thoughts on it. Check out our other reviews here, as well as our other videos on Special Mark Productions. Hit the subscribe button if you could, please. I appreciate all the views and the support, and until next time, keep that ticket stub.